Hey guys, all right, so now we're going to go over malfunctions. Okay, malfunctions can happen all the time. One of the biggest things that I see, women who I train one-on-one, they their husband wants them to get a revolver because they say, well, revolver's not going to malfunction. You know, it's a lot more dependable than a semi-automatic. Why there is truth in that statement, I can show you a drill and a method to clear 90% of all malfunctions, and then I'll show you how to clear the other 10%. So that I'd much rather the person have 15 rounds of ammo versus 6 shots shooting, a single action trigger versus a longer double action trigger, which is a heavier trigger press. So in my opinion, I'd rather have more ammo and not need it than have less ammo and be wishing that I would have been shooting a semi-automatic. So with that being said, we're going to go over a few of your malfunctions that can happen. The first one is a misfire. So that's kind of like a dud, okay? So it's wherever you go to pull the trigger, it could be the first shot, it could be the 5th shot. But you go to pull the trigger and nothing happens. You just hear a click. The loudest sound in a gun battle, right? The drill that we're gonna teach you to do is kind of a silly saying, but it works. So tap, rack, roll. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate that real quick and then I'm gonna have her demonstrate it for you. We're gonna put her through a bunch of drills here in just a second. So as we explain, we'll do a drill, we'll explain another one, we'll do a drill, okay? So with that being said, what is tap, rack, roll? If you'll kind of just pan right over here, okay? So you're gonna tap the bottom of the magazine. So the question is why am I tapping the bottom of the magazine? A lot of your misfires is either A, you didn't get the magazine fully seated in the gun, and so you have to tap it to fully seat it. Well, now there wasn't one in the chamber, so now you gotta rack one in the chamber and get it done, okay? The other thing is if it is a dud, we've got to, we're gonna make sure that it's seated, rack it to get the bad cartridge out and put a new one in, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and have you stand right here. All right. The gun's already prepped and ready, guys. You can do these drills with, empty shell casings. They make dummy rounds that you can buy. That are really good that you can just reuse over and over, and it makes your gun function like if it was loaded with live ammo. Now in this case, we have this loaded with, the first one's just a spent shell casing. The second one is going to be a live round. So we got our hearing protection, our eye protection on, so we're gonna go through it. All right, so I want you to point at the target, okay? I want you to slowly pull the trigger. Okay, you guys hear that click, okay? Now, I want you to tap, rack, and roll. So tap, rack, okay? Go ahead and point and pull the trigger. All right, so notice that whenever she pulled that trigger this time, her slide locked back to the rear. That's the way the gun's designed. It's the way that it communicates to us to say, hey, we need to reload, okay? So if you don't have the dummy rounds in there, you can't do this drill because every time you go to tap rack, it's gonna lock back like that. So those dummy rounds trick it to work like this, like a normal gun would function until you run out of rounds. Malfunction that you can have that's similar to a misfire is what we call a hang fire. What that is it's a delayed fire, okay? For whatever reason, the round is a delayed burn. And so what they recommend is you want to point the muzzle in a safe direction for 10 to 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and wait the full 30 seconds. You're not going to be able to tell if it's a misfire or a hang fire. So we're going to treat all misfires as if they were hang fires on the range. So the next drill we're going to do, it's going to say in the same thing. It's going to be set up the same way, but it's going to be what we call a hang fire. So empty shell casing, okay, come on up here. Now this time after you pull the trigger, I just want you to hold it, point it at the target, and just for a certain amount of time. Okay, go ahead and pull the trigger. Okay, you guys are hearing the same click. All right, at this point in time, we know that this is not a hang fire, but we're gonna treat it as if it was. So she would hold this way for 30 seconds. Obviously for video purposes, we won't wait for the 30 seconds because I know that I put a spent shell casing in. But with that being said, you would wait that. So again, when you're on the range, practicing, having fun with your family, treat all misfires as if they're hang fires. We're gonna show you a couple more. I'm gonna hand you that gun. I'm gonna just a few spent shell 9mm casings that we shot earlier. Okay, so this is what we call a stovepipe. All right. Sometimes what can cause a stovepipe, we grip too low on the gun. That gun wants to come straight back, all right? The lower on the gun we grip, the more this can happen. For whatever reason, we're slowing down the momentum of the slide. We may have our thumbs or fingers on the slide, which slowed it down, which caused it to catch. So with this, we're gonna do the same thing, tap, rock, and roll. So if we went, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that for you real quick. We went to pull the trigger, okay, same thing. Then I see they want you to tap, rack, and roll. All right, so that would look like this. Bang, 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 click. I see that it's there, tap, rock, roll. In all honesty, tapping is not doing anything for this type of malfunction, okay? Because I can obviously see the jam there, all right? So this is just wasting time in a gun battle. However, the reason why they're saying tap, rack, roll is easy to remember, and if you just do that and you program that into your muscle memory, if it ever happens, you're just going to do it and be able to clear it 90% of all the malfunctions. So with that being said, if I were shooting bang, 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 and I see that I have a stovepipe, all I have to do is rack it back. Now obviously this one fell back in the case because I don't have any other rounds in here. But if I just rack it back, it can eject out the side, and then a new round would go in the gun. We're going to set it up for one more, and we'll show you what that's like. All right, guys, so the other one, the other malfunction, so up to this point, 90% of all your malfunctions, tap, rack, and roll will work. However, there is a malfunction called a double feed. I'm going to go ahead and let you zoom in. And so what you're seeing is that you have a shell casing that was failed to be pulled out of the chamber, and then so the slide came back, the spring pushed it back and loaded another one. So now you got kind of a traffic jam in there, right? I can tap, rack all day long and nothing's going to happen. With this is you're going to hit the magazine release button, you're going to strip the magazine out, okay? You're going to hold on to that, if you only have one left, you can drop it and grab another magazine. Okay, they want you to rack 3 times. If I rack once and it falls out, then that's all I need to rack. Or if I rack 3 times and it's still in there, I need to keep racking until it's not. What I've learned is if you kind of turn your gun to the side and just rack real quick like that, kind of forcefully, it will get out whatever round's in there. Okay, then you're going to load. So these are just things that you can do on the range. They're going to take practice. You know, snap caps are great, but if you don't have the budget to buy snap caps, you can go ahead and use a spent shell casing and go from there. All right, guys, be safe.